advantage to political or social control. Americans have been bamboozled by false reports about incestuous monarchs, challenged by humbugs about murdered prostitutes and depraved nuns, and propagandized by sensational tidings about splendid little wars and ugly big ones. They have been entertained by faked films of battlefield heroics and faked photographs of jilted brides, horrified by fabricated atrocities, and pacified by cover-ups of real ones, and disinformed for their own good by powerful and secretive spy agencies. They have been misled by institutions of government into disastrous foreign interventions, disillusioned by whoppers unnoticed by inattentive editors, and beguiled by political partisans disguised as professionals. Sometimes they have actively participated in the fake. Historians of journalism have traditionally emphasized its steady evolution toward a greater professionalism rooted in an ethic of public service and a commitment to seeking the truth. And that story does indeed fit many kinds and aspects and eras of journalism, which at its best has challenged malefactors, exposed corruption, borne witness to conflict, comforted the afflicted, and numbered the dead, along with simply offering people timely intelligence they could trust about everything from the price of gold to the chance of rain. But stories about truth are never only about truth. They are also about power, about control, about desire, about values. The history of American journalism is about much more than how people called journalists developed forms and conventions to gather, verify, interpret, and distribute accurate information. Those forms and conventions were designed to vouch for the accuracy of their contents. Journalism was supposed to look like truth, and truth like journalism. But what if falsehood does too? The current national preoccupation with fake news and fake media continues the urgent debate over what truth looks like and who gets to define it. This time, though, the conversation has been seriously complicated by the blurriness of the terms in question, terms that are closely identified with Donald Trump as their alleged creator. But those terms have also been applied to everything from the mischievous and the mistaken, through the opportunistic and the satirical, all the way to the predatory and the subversive. Although much of what has been denounced as fake news comes to the public through journalism, even more often it arrives through social media or popular culture. The perpetrator can be a government or corporate propagandist, a rogue reporter or an incompetent one, a partisan activist, an advertiser, a spy, a homegrown hacker, a foreign hacker, a bot, an entrepreneur, a troll, a conspiracy theorist, or a polarizing president with a Twitter account. It can also be your grandmother. False information has been blamed for influencing election results, worsening a global pandemic, tribalizing the political discourse, and reinforcing the wackiest of conspiracy theories, but no one seems to know how to rein it in. So before we can even begin a meaningful analysis of the history of fake news, we need to impose some order on that most protean term, and define what each of the two words in it has meant and hasn't meant. By fake, I mean something that was purposefully untrue, created by people who understood at some level and for whatever benign or devious purpose that what they were saying was false or deceptive. Some of their readers or viewers may have caught on to the trick, but that was often incidental. The point was generally to mislead or manipulate the consumer. Unintentional errors are not fakes, though willfully blinkered reporting may be. Opinions or advocacy clearly expressed as such are not fakes, though partisan argument cast as impartial observation may be. And although failures by journalists to account for facts or attitudes that challenge prevailing mainstream social and cultural values represent another essential critique of how journalism works, that phenomenon